All right, we have a full moon coming up on January 3rd. Full moons occur when the sun and the moon are opposing each other in the sky, right? So, with the full moon, the sun dominates the sky all throughout the day. And when it sets, that's when the moon rises and she dominates the night sky. So, on January 3rd, the moon actually rises, I believe that's at 5:11 p.m., right? So the sun is leaving the sky and the moon is rising at 5:11 p.m. on January 3rd. And that creates the full moon that we'll see, right? I cast the chart for that moment, January 3rd at 5:11 p.m. here in my city. So it may look a little bit different if you cast a chart for your location. In the chart that I'm looking at, there's a lot of planets in Sagittarius. In the 7th house too. So the house of long-term partnerships, open enemies. We have Venus, Sun, Mars, and Mercury all in Sagittarius. A stellium. Okay? And since we're talking about Sagittarius, that means that we're actually we should be looking to Jupiter, who rules Sagittarius, right? And funny enough, Jupiter is at 26 degrees, which is the year that we're claiming that we're going into. I know that the year is different for different countries around the world, mainly Ethiopia. But for the rest of us, it will be 2026. So I thought it was very interesting that Jupiter will be at 26 degrees during the full moon. And the moon will also be at 26 degrees too. And the sun is in Sagittarius right now, and it will be on January 3rd. And with it being a full moon, that means that the moon will be in Gemini because Gemini and Sagittarius oppose each other. Air and fire oppose each other in this sense. A very combustible relationship, Gemini and Sagittarius. As a Gemini sun, my longest relationship was with Sagittarius. Pretty good relationship too. Pretty good relationship too, right? Okay, so I'm a person. I'm not going to talk too much. Over the years, I've become a person of very few words. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not sure if that's wisdom or something else. I just don't be knowing what to say. Like for this, I wrote so many notes, and what's really sticking out for me is okay. Let me just kind of like read it. Gemini Jupiter at 26 degrees is talking about the airline industry. Okay. And then we have Sagittarius Sun at 19 degrees. And that's talking about fires and explosions. And a key word for, I think it's the 19th degree. Yeah. One of the key words for the 19th degree is frontier. And it made me think of Frontier Airlines. And so, I don't know, I'm not gonna be trying to predict and speak stuff into existence, but I feel like Frontier Airlines need to check themselves when it comes to make sure all their I's are dotted and their T's are crossed, that they're on their P's and Q's. Just get all your alphabets together, Frontier Airlines, because it's just all airlines, but definitely Frontier, because It's just that's what stuck out to me, is that there's something going on with the airline industries leading up to or on the day of, or maybe some days after the around the full moon period. I'll just say that, leading up to, on the day of, or after the full moon period, something. Um, so there's that. It's a possibility of weight gain too, since we're in Jupiter is a very expansive planet. Wherever it is, it expands the topic of that house, right? And so since Jupiter is in the first house, and the first house is you and your body, and then is right there with the moon, which is the body, you know, you must maybe putting on a couple of pounds there. You feel what I'm saying? Which is, ain't no judgment. It's the holiday season, you know, and we just got out of Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, you know, lots of food, lots of drinks, probably on vacation mode. So depending on how you are with discipline, may not have been working out as much, you know what I'm saying, been taking it easy. No judgment, no judgment, but definitely a possibility here of weight gain with the moon and Jupiter being at the same degree in the first house. Also want to make a note here. I made a note here that gambling is fatal and it should be avoided. Okay. I also made a note here that leading up to the full moon and maybe some days afterwards, you may be feeling mental fatigue, muscle tensions, headaches, and irritability. I actually have a headache right now. I should drink some water, so it won't escalate into a migraine. That's how my headaches usually work. So yeah, that's that Jupiter energy is giving weight gain, is giving something going on with airlines. Like it's giving that. It's giving that the Gemini Jupiter and the Sagittarius Sun, like, relationships, very interesting here. I'm still very much a novice, so there's probably another way for me to like read that and dive deeper into that, but that's what I'm getting right now. That's what I'm getting right now. Okay, so with Pisces, or do I want to read that one? I mean, I guess we have Pisces Saturn at 2 degrees in the 10th house. It's a lot of mutable energy, by the way. We have the Gemini house being activated, which is the first house, which is you. And we have the 10th house, which is the house of like your mom, your reputation. That's ruled by Pisces. And then we have the 7th house, which is long-term relationships, partnerships, open enemies, things of that nature. That's where Sagittarius is. So a lot of the mutable, and then Virgo is in the 4th house and nothing is going on there. So it's very interesting, the mutable relations here. It's like there's a story between you, your mama, and your open enemies. You, your mama, and your enemies. Right? And you got the sun in the 7th house. The 7th house is enemies, and the sun is father. Is your daddy your enemy? Or a long-term business partner or something? Are you in business with your daddy? Something dad is like a long-term, I mean, of course dad's like a long-term figure, but dad is like, he has like you have a contract with dad or with influential men. But yeah, going back to that Pisces Saturn at 2 degrees, you want to be careful with your feet. And I say that as someone who had her laptop fall on her foot like a week or so ago. That Jane, woo. You thank God for a high pain tolerance, because that for sure was supposed to get a scream out of me, and it didn't. It didn't. I ate that. I ate that fall. I ate that computer fall, right? So you want to be careful, because Pisces does rule the feet. So you want to be careful with any foot ailments. Pisces Saturn. Oh my gosh, I feel like I can make a whole separate video, because I have Pisces Saturn in my own birth chart, and how that has played out in my life is that has activated the caregiver. It's brought me into like my caregiver era. Like, my mom also has, me and my mom have similar charts. So she also has Pisces and Saturn. And so when she was having her first Saturn return, which is me saying that I have Pisces and Saturn, and Pisces is currently in Saturn, means is that I'm having my Saturn return. Kind of like with solar returns is basically like your birthday. The sun is at the same place that it was when you were born, and possibly at the same degree. That's your quote unquote birthday. So with Saturn and Pisces meeting up again, I'm having my Saturn return, and my mom also has the same placement. And when she was having her first Saturn return, she had me. And if parenting ain't the most limiting thing in the world, I don't know what is. Parenting grows you up. You truly have to put childish things away when you have a child, because you got to make sure that this kid lives, and that you live long enough to make sure that this kid lives, right? So motherhood was her Saturn return. Caregiving is mine. My mom had a medical emergency last year, and it called me to be her caregiver. And so with being a caregiver, I've had to become disciplined in various areas of my life. The major one is with, I guess, should I say, hot girl summer? Never really had like a hot girl summer. I just be turning up. I guess that's what a hot girl summer is. I don't know, but I just had to put certain things away, because I had to get up in the morning and change diapers and make breakfast for somebody, and like, I had to be present. So I couldn't, life was not just about me anymore. I have another life that I have to take care of, consider. And so that's that Pisces Saturn energy, is like becoming disciplined on a spiritual level. I had to give up spirits, had to cut off certain people. It's like motherhood in my own right. Like, with motherhood, you have to move differently. You can't do certain things anymore. You can't be around certain people anymore. You can't. That's like I said. I can probably do a whole other video on Pisces and Saturn, and like I just said that I wasn't going to talk too much. See, look, I guess I do have something to say. And I guess I'm also still in the midst of my Saturn return, so that's why it sounds like I'm still reflecting, because I'm still in the midst of it. But that's what I can give you for right now, is that take care of your feet and take care of your spirit. Yeah, let's just leave it there. Okay. Gemini rising at 22 degrees. 22 degrees is also a Saturn degree. And where is Saturn? Oh, Saturn's in the 10th. We already talked about that. This is talking about securing the tribe, right? So securing the tribe can be tedious. And honestly, with all that going on in the 7th house, it 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 probably can be quite tedious, or not. Is tedious the word? Tedious. It can be tedious work in building a circle of people that you can trust, because that's spiritual work. I feel like all of this is a very, everything is spiritual. That's what I call my Sagittarius and the Pisces season. Everything is spiritual. So going to school is spiritual. Creating your tribe is spiritual. Why? Because you want to create a tribe with people who either one you are in alignment with, or who will challenge you. And or it doesn't have to be an or, it could be an and or thing. But how can you determine who are you in alignment with, who will challenge you and not like stab you in the back? Because the house of open enemies is popping. It's a lot of people in your house, in the house of open enemies. And the fact that it's so interesting that the house of long-term partnerships is also the house of enemies. Like, it's so interesting. The 7th house is basically just other people. The first house is you, 7th house is others, right? So I can see how enemies can be there. It's just interesting how, I don't know, it's just that and that's what makes it tedious, because like you got your daddy here, you got others here, you got your brother, you got other women here, you got your siblings here. Like, who who are your people? Who are your real people? Who is down for you? You know what I'm saying? um yeah, that Sagittarius sun is talking about like fires and explosions, but frontier with all, especially with Mars. Okay, he had a different chart set up. Huey P. Newton. He had a Libra rising, which made his 7th house. His first house was Libra, so that means his 7th house was in Aries, right? And if you know anything about history, you know how Huey ended up. You know how he ended up, right? Looking at that man's chart, it was like Saturn. It was like Saturn dominated that chart. It was like death. Like that chart was death. And what stood out to me in that chart was that he had Mars in the 7th house. Like literally the planet of fighting and combat and guns and all of that in the house of his open enemies. And didn't his open, like, he literally got shot. Like, so that's why this whole airline explosions, like, that's why I keep going back to that, because like we have Mars in the 7th house, and from the chart that I've read, Mars in the 7th house, I don't know, but his was in Aries and this is in Sagittarius, so those are two different fire signs. So hopefully it won't be as rah rah like, Huey P. Newton's outcome. Maybe it would be a little bit, I don't know. We'll see. it may be a little. I have no idea how Sagittarius is going to play out with this Mars. But I feel like Frontier Airlines and all airlines just need to check. They just need to check themselves, right? You just may be. It just may be a lot of tension. Period. Leading up to the full moon with those particular people, with your daddy, with the men in your in your life, with the women in your life, with your siblings. You know what I'm saying? Like all these people in the seventh house is like definitely gonna be some tension, or maybe not even with you. Maybe all of these people have tension with your mom, and of course that may have something to do with you because that's your mom. Um, but yeah, I definitely am getting like some tension between. It's like you and mom against everyone else. You, mom, and enemies. You, mom, and your enemies. Alright, we got 21 minutes. Let me see what else is important to talk about because I definitely said I wasn't going to talk too much. Alright, we went over that. Is this anything to really talk about? As a fellow Gemini moon, Godspeed. This may be a restless, you may be feeling restless. I don't know. As a Gemini moon, I got other Gemini placements too, so I can't even. But all I know is that with Gemini moon, I don't know, the relationship with mom, it could be interesting. I don't know. It's not. It's like a distance. It's like a distance in the relationship between a Gemini moon person and their mom. Like, yeah, me and my mom are close, but there's like, I don't know, fundamental differences that causes a distance. Like she's like water, and my mom has no air in her chart, so I'm like all like literally all the air that she's missing. So there's that. So I don't know, Gemini moons. We are a very interesting species. I feel like we can be pretty difficult to live with sometimes because we're just detached from our bodies and just I don't want to say surface level. It's just I don't know. We're too. I don't know. I have to think more because I'm thinking about myself and I'm thinking about another client who I read that I have Gemini moon, and they have a very interesting relationship with their mom as well. Okay. Anyway, because now we're at 23 minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's talk more about this Sagittarius energy in the 7th house, okay? Yeah, we got Mercury in Sagittarius at 8 degrees. That's associated with accidents. So some good business partnerships right now to establish are in the realms of literacy and communication. So if like you're writing a book, I guess, or if you're into like some type of form of journalism, this is a great time to establish those long-term relationships, contracts. Okay, Sagittarius Mars at 20 degrees, 7th house. This is what I wrote down. impulsive relations, death of a partner, early divorce, kidney issues, numerous affairs, and quick snapback game. Okay. I just saw a post from a girl that I went to church with. She just had a baby, and she don't look like she just had a baby. Her snapback game is on fleek. And that's just judging a book by its cover, because I know mothers, they be going through things when it comes to their post-birth bodies. But yeah, that snapback game. So with that weight gain in Jupiter, and with the Jupiter Gemini, that can be, you know, offset with that Sagittarius Mars, since they're opposing each other, right? Could be, I don't know. Oppositions are of Saturn nature, so Saturn can probably help you out in that arena. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's honestly the main. That's honestly what I'm getting, is that you're open. The open enemies area of your life is popping. The long term business contracts, long term relationships, open enemies house is popping. Um, Something going on with your mom. Something going on with you and your body. Possibly interactions with people who have like divine knowledge or like occult knowledge. So dealing with people like preachers, doctors, astrologers, you know, people who have studied a certain topic that's of a spiritual nature, or who have gotten like, who have earned high degrees in a certain topic. That makes sense. I don't know. This, none of my readings ever make sense to me, but that's what I'm getting. It's giving, just look out for any topics relating to you and your body and your weight, any travel, any airline things going on. Look out for anything going on with your mom, and any topics around caregiving, any topics around contracts, long-term partnerships, enemies. Yeah, that's that. So yeah, let's see.